empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes. Feel like a dynamite, ready to explode right up in the sky. I need you to listen, I need you to hear, and don't show any fear. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul.
Welcome to the AfterMat, your source for WWE pay-per-view recaps. I'm your host, the People's Champ Cal, and alongside me, as always, I have my tag team partner, the Glamazon Delisha. What's going on, Delisha?
Hey, sorry, I realized I was still on mute. Hey guys, just another one recapping one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year. I'm excited. You excited?
I guess so. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about everything because I don't know. Well, I guess we'll get to it in a little while, but we can't do it without completing out our stable. And we might have our man in the rafters, who we also congratulate as our WrestleMania Pick'ems champion, Joe from the rafters. So I hope he's our annual fact checker, or our every time fact checker, I guess I should say. But also, we can't forget, we also have our roving reporter, our Renee Young. He can't be the Renee Young. He's going to be like the Charlie Caruso now, or whoever else does the things in the back now. Caleb Braxton, whoever he wants to be from that set of beautiful women that do the back things. We have the Road Raider himself, Mr. Tom Zambino.
Did something important happen last night? Did I miss something?
No, but I like that shirt. I think that's the outlaw John Roca, right? But he's wearing the V for Vendetta thing.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so today we're talking about the granddaddy of them all, the showcase of Immortals, WrestleMania 35. You know, usually when WrestleMania comes to this area, I try to go to it because, you know, I'm a big fan, I would like to say, and like I like to go to all the ones in this area for anything. be it UFC, be it like any kind of big event, I guess I should say. I didn't want to go to this one. I don't know. I felt like the card was kind of underwhelming at first. But, did the night pan out to be good? We'll see. I guess we'll talk about our reviews later and stuff like that. But for now, going in, when you guys saw the card, I'll go with Delisha first. When you saw the card, were you excited for the card? Was there anything that stood out that you wanted to see most?
Well, going in, even though we kept joking, there was like 20,000 matches. If you had asked me in a moment in 30 seconds to name all 15, I probably couldn't have. Mainly because a lot of the build-ups were either rushed or we didn't really spend much time with it. So going in, I was like, there's a few matches that I was excited to see, but I was like, I just hope things just go well. Like, of course, I wanted to see the women's main event, of course. I was interested to see the women's tag team because I'm always excited to see them. I wanted to see Kofi versus Daniel Bryan because of the historic possibilities of it. And I was interested in Triple H versus Batista because I like Batista. And Triple H always has cool interests, so I was kind of hoping to see that. And then I was hoping to see a good show in total. But there were some good things. There were some not so good things that we'll talk about later.
Yeah, I'm going to pose the same question to Tom as well, but Delisha did say something about cool entrances. So I was just going to ask you, like, how do you feel about? Do you think that it's the spectacle of it all has dropped off since the WrestleManias of old with entrances? Like, the entrances used to be so elaborate. Like, almost everyone had an elaborate entrance, or at least the main events all had elaborate entrances. We did have a few more this time with the hot rod as well as the Escalade and then the helicopter, but it's not been as elaborate as past WrestleMania. So do you feel that it's been less of a spectacle? And also, what have you been looking for? What did you look forward to when the card came out?
Yeah, the entrances were kind of underwhelming. I feel like we didn't really get a WrestleMania entrance until it might have been. Was it the Triple H match? Might have been. I remember texting Tom about it. Like, this was our first WrestleMania with props. No. It was Drew McIntyre's entrance.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
I don't know what they're called. The Irishmen, I'm calling them. I mean, the Scottish
Vipers.
Yes, thank you. Guys, it's Monday. But yeah, like, that was cool. I mean, we did see that him do that in NXT, but to see him do it on the grand stage was pretty cool to see as well. Or did he do that on the main roster? I don't remember.
I don't think so. Tom, your anything you look forward to, and how do you feel? Do you think the entrance spectacular has dropped off?
I think yes and no. Yes, as in this whole spectacle of the entrance has dropped off, but I think that's a good thing because I really don't need 15 minutes of the event devoted to two guys entering the ring. So I don't need entrances to be longer than the matches. They even hurried Finn Balor to the ring, which was cool, which was good because they had about 20,000 matches. A few of them I was looking forward to. I was just tired looking at the card because I knew I was going to be up way past my bedtime watching this thing, and I was.
I feel like all of us were because you know what? I usually go to sleep around like 9 o'clock, 9:15 latest. Sometimes when like Raw's on, I'll have it on in the background while I'm laying in bed, trying to fall asleep, and I have this timer set to shut off right when Raw ends, kind of thing. But I don't really watch Raw anyway, so it's like that. Either if I'm watching it fast forward or while I'm falling asleep, it's the same thing pretty much. Unless I see like Alexa Bliss, CM Punk, or somebody come on TV that I enjoy, that's when I like stop it.
I'm flipping the question back to you, Cal, since you mentioned that. How did you feel about Alexa Bliss as hosting?
I mean, I loved her dress change. I remember you texting me about that. How many outfits? And I love that. That's something I would do because when I had weddings to go to, like my friends' weddings or my cousins' weddings, I'd have different outfit changes throughout the night. And if you know anything about Indian wedding, they have like an Indian ceremony, and then they'll have like maybe possibly an American ceremony as well. Then like a cocktail or reception. So and if you're part of the wedding, kind of a big deal. So like I'd have outfit changes through. So like it's good that her and I are on the same page. So for the future, if our wedding has to be like that, we know to change our outfits throughout. That works out for us. But yeah, I thought the Hulk Hogan thing was kind of stupid, especially because he messed up the thing. And I joked about it. Like I was talking to my friends who were over for my party, where I was like, "Oh, remember when Hogan messed up and up?" And then like the next line he goes is like, "Oh, I'm glad to be here at the Silver Dome," or whatever he said. And then I'm like, "Oh, he did the joke." And then he goes, "I'm just kidding. I'm here at the MetLife Center." And I'm like, "Oh my god, he still messed it up." And there's a giant sign that says MetLife Stadium like above him. Like I'm like, how do you not know that? Like I guess he's old in his eyes. or but whatever.
He was wearing sunglasses. He couldn't see
That is
clearly.
true. And probably the shininess of Alexa Bliss being the star, the goddess that she is, when you can't really look at a goddess directly on because you go blind. So that's what it is. But I miss I love the entrances. That's one of my favorite parts of WrestleMania. So I kind of want all those entrances back, especially like the Undertaker. Like his entrances are always great for the most part. I think Rollins was awesome. Like when he came out and he put the torch down and like lit up the thing. When Randy Orton came out, the snake like followed him down. That was cool. Like those kind of things. It doesn't have to be that elaborate, but it can be like still somewhat cool. They can be like, hey, I remember that from this few years ago. That was cool part of it.
I think the bagpipes were about perfect as far as like cool entrances.
Yeah, as soon as the bagpipe happened, I'm like, this is awesome. I thought that was everything was the drums and all that was spot on because they actually all. I made a note that when the singers were singing earlier, not all of them had microphones, and I know you could if you need a special mic that could get like at least 4 people, but they had a cardio. I think it's called the cardio mic that goes directly forward. That's the mic they had, or whatever is a shotgun mic, whatever it is that just goes directly forward is what they had. So there's no way they could have picked up like everyone around that thing. They had them spread out for like maybe they had 4 to 6 in front of them, but they were too far spread out. So I'm like, this is definitely recorded ahead of time. The backup singers at least. So it wasn't, but for the instruments, each drum, each instrument like had its microphone. So that's why I was like, okay, at least this is live. That's pretty cool. But I do miss the whole thing with the timing with the Superman punch that he did this year was off. Whereas last time he hit the ground and made a crack and it went all the way down to the ring. That was cool. It was just wasn't as good. It's I used to love like I said, that's one of my favorite parts of WrestleMania are the entrances. Because if you're doing it once a year, why not go big? As they always say.
Yeah, for me, it didn't have to be every single person need to have an 11 interest. It could have been something small, as we'll get into later. Rey Mysterio just changed his outfit to be a little bit more glamorous or eye popping. Not everyone needed a CGI type of grand entrance or coming in on a helicopter. It's just something special.
Yeah,
or to make us feel like you're at WrestleMania.
All right, before we go too much off on not even the matches yet, because there's 20 to go through, and we all still have bedtimes. I gotta wake up at 4 a.m. I know Alicia's got work. Tom's got nothing yet as of yet, right? So, or do you have
work tomorrow?
You officially start because today was orientation, right? So you officially start. All right, so let's get started with the pre-show. Let me get my graphics up for us because I actually did get. So they did add one more match to the pre-show before I had it. But the first match starts off with the Cruiserweight champion, Buddy Murphy, against Tony Nese. Never heard of this other guy, Tony Nese. I don't know what happened with it, but Delicia is usually our correspondent for the matches for pre-show, but she especially knows the 205 Live guys. So go ahead, Delicia.
Yeah, so I haven't followed there wasn't really much storyline for these two going in. It was more the classic, the two heel teams, and one of them turns on the other, especially with WrestleMania being basically in his backyard, because I think Tony's is from Staten Island, Long Island. He's from New York. And so they had him go face 2 weeks ago because Buddy Murphy turned on him for some reason we still is not particularly clear. But as normally what we go to Cruiserweights, it's usually a fun match, even when they're usually relegated to the pre-show 95% of the time. But we started the match with Buddy Murphy getting most of the offense in with a lot of punches and strikes. And Tony is just going on the defensive, not getting much offense until probably the middle of the match, to where he hit him with a suplex, I believe, and then tried to jump on top rope. She tried to go for a 450 splash. It might have a name, but I don't quite remember what it is. To go for the pin, but it wound up on a 2 count, which will probably start being the theme of the night of so many close 2 counts going in. I mean, it adds drama to the match, but that's something I noticed, that we had a lot of close finishes with almost every match. And and then Buddy Murphy will go back on the offensive by giving Tony a super kick through the middle of the rope, or the middle of the ring, while he was on the outside of the ropes. And then he followed that up with a sort of facebuster type move, to which he got a 2 count of his own, again suspending the drama and trying to create some storylines with this match. And then Murphy would then go on for the Murphy's Law, which he missed, and Tony Nese tried to go for a roll up for another 2 count, and then so they do go back and forth with more punches and strike kicks to where then Nese hit his Murphy tried to go for Nese's finishing, which I believe is like a running knee or something like that, but Nese countered it into a super kick, which we're just calling everything nowadays of a kick to the face, and then surprised me a little bit by getting the 3 count and now becoming the Cruiserweight Championship. And I only say a little bit because they've been pushing Murphy for so long, but since I guess, Nese is in his hometown, he's champion today or last night.
Staten Island's not anything to do with New Jersey, so let's not get that confused, because I hate how they do that, especially we'll talk about the next match in a little bit. But usually I go to the rest of the panel for the every match, but I guess the pre-show will keep it short because it's a pre-show and no one really cares about the pre-show. So there you go. Buddy Murphy is your Tony Nese is your new Cruiserweight champion. Let me just go ahead quickly to the people in chat. Also, we have welcome Arrington. I see there. Arrington, TJ. I put on live chat so I see all messages. Arrington, TJ, welcome. Randall, how are you? Entertain, welcome. Technical Genius, how are you? Raj Singh, who is also another member of this esteemed panel that you'll see later for the AfterMat Awards. He's known as the Road Dog. So if we put the Road Dog and Road Raiders together, we can make it like a tag team. We call it the Road Warriors or something. Completely original concept. Maybe we can have some guy with sunglasses and a suit be their manager. Who knows?
Tell Raj he is missed.
Raj, you are missed. I mean, he can hear you.
Oh,
Raj, you are missed. Tell Raj he's missed. He can hear you. Yeah. Well, we'll see him in 2 weeks.
I've been watching too much Game of Thrones. I'm sorry.
All right, so let's go on to the next match. We're going to keep it short with the pre-show. I guess the next match was, for me to cover, the women's, what do they call it? Like, they should call it the China Battle Royal, right? Like, I guess if it's the 8th one of the world's Anjulie John, they always call China the 9th one of the world. Why not name this the China Battle Royal or something like that?
Yeah.
But whatever they want to call it. We did have used the effect. I forgot who last year in our pool had somebody who wasn't in the thing, so I quickly texted them saying, "Hey, your person's not in the match. Let me know who you want." Unfortunately, I was outside, and I think I left my phone inside, so I couldn't text you guys that Lacey Evans was in the match. So we had to enact that clause for whoever we used it for last year, because a bunch of us picked Lacey Evans. So I changed my vote to Asuka, and she still didn't win. At the end of the match, it was like Asuka, Sarah Logan, who threw Asuka out, and then for some reason Carmella just got back into the ring. I don't know when she fell out of the ring, but Carmella was threw Sarah Logan out, and Carmella is your winner. And
I have a Carmella theory.
Yes.
Before we quickly move on, because we should quickly move on. I actually sped by through this match earlier today, and I don't think she was ever in the ring. I think she was hiding under the ring the entire time. I saw her
at the beginning. I saw her in the beginning.
I never saw her.
She has darker hair and stuff. That's why I definitely saw her in the beginning of the ring.
No, she was in it because I explicitly remember saying, "Hey, the Carmella was her hair dark last Tuesday," and so that's how.
Yeah, like her hair.
That's why I remember that she was
noticeably darker this time around. That's why I noticed her. But yeah, so Carmella is now your Joni Lawler, whatever you want to call it, women's battle royal winner.
Champion.
That's what I'm going to call it. And watch now, WWE's going to steal that idea from me like they do for everything else because they watch the show. All right. The next match featured this is still pre-show, mind you guys. The Raw Tag Team Champions, the Revival, against the Long Island Ice Z and Kurt Hawkins, I think that is. So the Edgeheads. So the Revival versus the Edgeheads. I think that's who it was. So Tom's going to take this one.
All right. I had better things to do than watch this pre-show. Bunch of bullshit happened, and Hawkins rolled up one of the random Revival dudes, and they won the match. They're now champions. Let's all move on with our lives.
Yeah. So, I didn't even know this match was going to happen. It was just thrown on the card.
It was thrown on there last Monday.
Was it?
Yeah.
It had to have been after that because I checked on Thursday, I think, for the match card just to make sure I had all the images for the show.
Well,
Delisha, you pay attention to these things. Why did this match happen? What made those two deserving?
See, I watch Raw, and then they still don't explain it. They just randomly challenged them to a match. That was it.
He was his 279-week streak and losing streak, or whatever it was.
Yeah, it was just so Kurt Hawkins could end his losing streak at WrestleMania. That's the whole purpose.
Oh.
That was it.
That's stupid.
That was the purpose of the Revival's championship.
Except he didn't end it at WrestleMania because pre-show doesn't count.
Exactly. Tell them. Boom. We just dropped it on them. All right. This brings us to our final pre-show. Then we can move on to the actual real card. Our Andre the Giant, which you can't even see, but he's there. Andre somewhere over here. Oh god. I don't know which way to move on camera. Whatever. Just imagine Andre the Giant. There he is. Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Usually a big guy wins this, and this year was no exception. The whole storyline going into it was like two Saturday Night Live guys were causing trouble with Braun Strowman. I have no idea why it all happened. The one guy wore the Odell Beckham Cleveland Browns jersey. Basically, at the end, it was like the Hardys trying to take Braun Strowman out from the outside out. And then those two Saturday Night Live guys squirmed into the ring, grabbed each one of Braun's legs, tried to throw him out. He like hit them all at once, so the two Hardys fell over. Then then Braun Strowman was alone with the two Saturday Night Live guys. They got beat up pretty badly and thrown out, and Braun Strowman is now your 2019 WrestleMania 35 Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal winner.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, good thing the Sidewalk actually mentioned that. I actually mentioned that as well. Braun has slimmed down. You can see his like abs and stuff now, so he's lost weight. He's looking very lean and mean. So that's good. Maybe he'll get a push again. That's why I said Samoa Joe should. Yeah.
I had a suspicion right after his injury that because he was out of the gym so long with that arm injury, I think he got really out of shape. That's why he's been like exceptionally bad to me lately. But I watched this Battle Royal, and yeah, he's jacked now. He's back to probably even better shape than he was.
Yeah, he looks good. So hopefully he keeps it up. That's what I was saying. This is the shape I said I want to see Samoa Joe come back to. Remember I said like Samoa Joe should take some time off because he's been doing absolutely nothing. This is before the whole AJ Styles feud that he had. Like there's like on the first season of AfterMat, I said like, oh, like why is Samoa Joe even being used? Like he's being used so badly. What's the point? Let him go away, get in shape and come back. But then they had the whole AJ feud, and then now as we'll talk about later, he went in as US champion. Did he leave with it? We'll talk about that. But yeah, so that's your pre-show. Nothing really to note. Interesting happened. But as that happened, this is when I think Alexa Bliss came out and said, oh, I could have a snap of my finger and have a moment. Hulk Hogan came out, said the wrong name. And as Hogan and them were posing, Paul Heyman walks us the way to the ring. And from there, our Road Raider, Tom Zamino, gives us the Rollins report as well as the Lesnar report, gets to wrap it all up into one match because they're both in the same match, featuring Brock Lesnar as your Universal Champion, defending against the Beast Slayer now, I guess, as he wanted to be called before going into the match. Did he slay the Beast? We'll find out. Seth Rollins.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rollins Report today. And like Paul Heyman said, we are going to make this quick because Brock Lesnar has to catch a plane after this match, and he does not have time to wait around at WrestleMania. So Lesnar rushes to the ring. Seth does his burn it down thing, starts walking towards the ring. Lesnar starts whipping his ass on the sides because, reasons. Starts gives him a couple of F5s. Rollins gets back up, does a low blow for some reason because Vince really has a ball fetish, I guess, because there's a lot of low blows lately. Hits 3 stomps. 1, 2, 3. And we're all done here and can move on with our lives again. And is now the Universal Champion who will actually be there and be present, which will be cool.
Yeah, so he had to do 3 curb stomps to actually beat what's his face?
Lesnar.
Lesnar, but I don't think I think Brock should have still held the title because I heard Seth Rollins. I did pick Seth to win, but I wanted to see Brock hold on to the title because I love how he's the champion, how he doesn't show up at all. He defends it once in a while because that's old school. I love the old school style of it. But I guess Vince just had enough because he's like the way if you watch what happened at the end of last WrestleMania where he just threw the belt. If you watch like the after special, I think they showed like after one Raw or something, whatever it was, or Royal Rumble, he just threw the title at Vince, like just disrespecting the title. So I guess it was just Vince had enough. I don't know. I guess we'll see how Rollins does. I heard Rollins is hurt and stuff, but I guess he'll still show up more than Brock. And he's a fighting champion. It'll be interesting to see where his next feud goes. So I'll throw that over to Alicia. What do you think the next feud is going to be, and what do you think of this match?
Well, as far as the match goes, it was fine. You guys know I don't really care about Brock Lesnar at all. I just don't. Sorry, Tom. But I do like the fact that we don't get like the title being just going back and forth between people, and then being offended every Monday or whatever. We don't really use it. But the only thing I didn't like about the Brock Cole and Natalya situation is that we didn't really do much with him. He was just gone, and just when someone called him out, like they were summoning a demon or something. Not that demon, but
That's like
right. But it was fine. I do think the right person won, although I wouldn't have been surprised if Cal retained just because. As far as who his next feud will go against, I don't know. Maybe McIntyre, maybe? I don't know. Just not Reigns. We're not ready for that yet. Anyone but Roman, or as Bray Wyatt we used to say, anyone but you, Roman. But for now.
Yeah, so I agree. So what the chat is saying, Sidewalk is saying Seth versus Roman, and Tom's agreeing with that. Probably because Roman beat Drew McIntyre well, we'll talk about that later, but I just ruined it. But anyway, Seth, whatever happened in that match, that's why he's saying Roman Reigns probably. And Simon's like, I'd rather love to see Drew beat Roman and then Seth versus Drew, which I would have loved to see too, because I like Drew McIntyre. But yeah, people are like, you want him to get booed again, entertained, so you want to see Roman get booed again that soon. It's gonna happen. There were some last night, so.
Quickly, I just forgot. We do have the shakeup coming next week, so it's possible it could be a SmackDown, maybe him versus AJ Styles, maybe.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool to see. Yeah, so that's good. Yeah. So, any thoughts, Tom? Do you have any last thoughts on this match before we move on to the next one?
Well, you see, I'm glad that Seth won. If for any reason, it's fine that the title's not defended every pay-per-view. I agree, Cal. It doesn't need to be, but it's the most prestigious title the second most prestigious title in the business. And Lesnar comes out there and huffs and puffs after 5 minutes of doing some moves, so that they have to take a break for 10 minutes, and that just creates sluggish, boring matches. Even though the build-up's been pretty poor, because it's essentially just Heyman doing the same shtick over and over again. Lesnar comes out, huffs and puffs after a few German suplexes. We do this, we rinse and repeat. So yeah, it doesn't need to be defended every week, but it'd be nice if someone is present, or if they can run a match longer than 5 minutes. That would be great for what should be a marquee match of the night.
Right, but I think it's also like the caliber of moves. Like the suplex takes a lot out of somebody. That's all he does over and over. So like I feel like it does take a lot out of him. So I mean, I guess that's why he gets tired so fast.
Sure, but we all know he's capable of doing more. He just doesn't feel like it, and it's boring after a while.
That's why I love him as champion. Just keep it like just be a dirtbag heel champion. All right, so we'll go to the next match, which I don't know why this match even happened, but it was Delicia's favorite superstar, Randy Orton, against AJ Styles. And what was up? Not a bad match. I thought this was a really great match. It was great back and forth action, great wrestling, great counters as well. Like, there's counters of counters even, because there's times where AJ went for the phenomenal forearm. He bounced up. How he sprint. What do you call it? Are you sleeping? This is a great match. He what do you call it? Springboards off the top to go for the forearm. He went for that, and then Orton switched for like the RKO, but then like he bounced back off the top. Like, it was great. Like, there's so many great counters of counters. Obviously, you get the same moves from Randy Orton, the quick power slam. Someone's here, and my dog's going crazy. All right, anyway, you hear that? Like, yeah. All right, anyway, so then we had the DDT that he normally does as well, or AJ did his normal moves as well with the what do you call it? The Pele, phenomenal forearm, the 450 springboard, stuff like that. So that was very fun to watch, and it ended with, I think, well, the one thing he did the phenomenal forearm to the outside, that was a pretty high spot. That was kind of cool to see. And I forgot how it ended. I think it might have been just a phenomenal forearm. Yeah, it was a phenomenal forearm. I think it was botched though. It looked like he's supposed to go from the right side, but then Orton ran to his left side, so that looked like it's a clothesline. And then just pinned him 1, 2, 3. So your winner was AJ Styles. I think on a botched phenomenal forearm. But I'm not sure. Do you guys have any thoughts on this match?
Yeah, it was fine. As you said, Randy Orton really isn't my favorite, but I feel like the last couple of times he at least showed interest, so that made for more compelling matches, so to speak. It's just that he's past his peak, his prime. So it's like I can't really explain my opposition to Randy Orton besides him just being boring. But I enjoy AJ Styles, and so and if I remember correctly, I think Randy Orton was just jealous of him. Well, okay, maybe jealous might be the wrong word, but he was opposed to him of AJ Styles being the face that runs this place when he's like, you just got here like 2 years ago. So I did enjoy that kind of back and forth between the two. And then, like you said, they were doing some great counters. And then you really can't get a bad match out of AJ Styles, to be honest. Or I haven't seen one so far. But yeah, it was fine. It did its job.
Tom, any thoughts on this match?
I fast forwarded all the way to the end, and the counter to the RKO was pretty cool. That's about it. AJ still has really stupid finishers. The Phenomenal Forearm is the best of his lot, which is not saying a whole lot.
The Styles Clash is cool. You don't think the Styles Clash
The
is cool?
Styles Clash is not cool. It's dumb.
It's awesome.
He moves the person like 2 inches.
What?
It moves this much.
Yeah, but he slams their face into it, and then he rolls it over into a pin. That's so cool.
Yeah, not really. It's not cool. It looks weird. It's awkward to set up. It's weird. It looks dumb. It's
only because Samoa Joe can't take it. That's why. Samoa Joe is weird for him.
I don't like his finishers, but yeah, this was certainly a thing. Orton is boring. He's probably going to move over to Raw because he's done everything on SmackDown, or AJ will. One of these dudes is going over to SmackDown.
Or both, and we'll see on Raw then.
Yeah, sure, but they're both kind of done with SmackDown, so one of them is probably going to move over.
All right, let's go on with our next match, which featured a fatal four-way with the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos, defending against Aleister Black and Ricochet. Said his name right this time. Who else is there? The Bar, Sheamus and Cesaro, and Rusev and Nakamura. So we'll have Delisha take the SmackDown Men's Championship Tag Team.
Yes, because everyone knows I have a special place in my heart for the SmackDown Tag Team scene. It's miles away better than Raw at this moment in time. So I read an interesting fact this morning that the Usos, this is their third WrestleMania in a row of them being in a tag team match, which I thought was pretty cool. Actually, as tag team champions, that is. So again, I think that's pretty cool. It shows that the company has a lot of faith in them and are really on board with them as a tag team, and they've just been killing it for ever since they went over to this more serious kind of like tweeners. They're not exactly always heel, but they're not exactly always face. So the crowd loves them, and they do good work in the ring. And of course, with all these great tag teams in the ring, it's going to be a spot fest. So you had, of course, especially if you have someone like Ricochet, who's the high flying machine, doing 630 splashes off the ring and diving on to everybody, as we know to see. Actually, the one, I guess, I don't know if you would call them an outlier, but the one with the question mark that I was having was with Nakamura and Rusev, because they were, again, just thrown together. And then we haven't really seen much of them, just like, hey, you're a bad guy, I'm a bad guy, let's team up. That's all we got with them too. And then we haven't really seen them except for as cannon fodder for other tag team matches on SmackDown. So that I wasn't really sure what they would bring to the match, but I still love them too as individuals. So I was just happy to see them be on the card at all. So I was just grateful for that. Speaking of teams being thrown together, for Aleister Black and Ricochet, a team that on paper you would think would not work, but these past couple of weeks since they've been called up to the main roster, they've been, dare I say it, phenomenal. I don't know. I would still like to see Aleister Black as a singles person, but we got to see some cool matchups between him and Nakamura, who are like the two like strike kings of this match, with Aleister Black hitting strikes to, I think, to both Sheamus and Nakamura for the most of the match, of all the knee strikes. And I had a couple people over who had never really seen Aleister Black in action, who were really into his style of wrestling. So that was pretty cool. One of the good things about WrestleMania is the people who don't normally watch just come together and watch, well, because well, one, maybe because that's what all their friends are doing, but because it is known as the biggest sports, one of the biggest sports shows of the year that's, scripted. But we did get some pretty good spots. Of the most probably notable one was Cesaro giving Ricochet the I guess it's still a King of Swing. I don't know if there's a name. Okay, for like a minute straight. I don't know how both of them were not dizzy for Ricochet, and then in conjunction with that, we are Sheamus giving what is it called? The 10.
I thought it was the Irish hand grenade. If that's called.
Is that what it's called now?
I have no idea. I think that's what it's called. Yeah.
I think it was something of Brogues 10 bars, something like someone. When if Joe was here, he would correct me. But he did that to I think about 4 people, including but I think both Usos and Nakamura, I believe, or Rusev, one of them.
I think he hit like everybody with it almost. I think pretty much.
Oh, okay. Everybody. Well then, yeah, he got them all.
the beat. Thanks, Big Time said the beats of Barry. Thank you, Big Time.
Thank you. But I don't know if this was a shock to anyone, but the Usos do retain by giving Sheamus first a double. I'm just going ahead and say double super kick, and a their finishing high. That's not a frog splash, but somewhat
regular splash.
Double splash.
Regular splash. And both of them for the pin, and they are still your SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Which at this point in time, I guess it's fine. I know people thought it might have been going to Ricochet and Black, but I'm like, it's way too early. I want them to split up anyway, so that they can go into their singles careers, mainly Aleister Black. But yeah, I was pretty happy with matching as a whole, and then also with Usos retaining.
Yeah, well, I got some bad news for you. You'll never see Aleister Black as a singles man because he is married to Zelina Vega, right? So there goes that. But no, yeah, it was a great match. It was you gotta do that off mute, Tom, with the Ricket rim shot. But yeah, no, there was a good match. Like you said, there was great spots. It was funny because I think Raj or his brother asked me, like, what happened to Nakamura? Did he win the Royal Rumble? And we went there and like, now what happened? I'm like, yeah, I don't think he's even on the card. And then I forgot, oh yeah, he's with Rusev in this match. But yeah, there's some great spots. It would be great to watch Nakamura versus Aleister Black in a one-on-one match. I think if they went back to old school WWE, like with those gimmicks and how they used to demean people, they could have like Nakamura and Rusev like in a spelling bee or something like that. Because that would be hilarious to do. That's like when they used to do stuff like that in the back of the day. Because I heard they're switching back to now TV4, not TV, yeah, no longer TV PG. They want to TV like that might have been like signaled by something we could talk about later. Maybe Tom could talk about that later with his boy Elias when he came out and had a little thing going on. But yeah, this is a good match. Tom, you have any thoughts on this match before we move to the next match?
Not particularly. Nothing of note.
All right. So the next match is going to be covered by Delisha as well, which is like basically a grudge match, falls count anywhere. I think Delisha, you called this match, right? Yeah. For Shane McMahon versus The Miz.
Yeah, this is a feud we've been following since. Well, okay, this is a storyline that we've been following since the pay-per-view that shall not be named. To where we had Miz and Shane teaming up, and then to call themselves the greatest in the world, and then two not getting the tag team titles on 2 occasions as they have wanted to, and then finally a Fastlane, which we predicted a heel turn, just not the person we thought it might be. We all thought and probably wanted it to be Miz, but it turned out to be Shane. And then so now we set up a grudge match between that because he attacked Miz's father as well as Miz at Fastlane, and we set up this match. And I know a lot of people going in. I was like, oh, I don't really care. Why do we want to see this 50-year-old man in a ring with Miz? And I'm pretty sure Tom was probably the one raising his hand on that one. Yeah. But I will say, though, I don't care for Shane in the ring. He has been doing great as this heel spoiled. No, well, I wouldn't say spoiled brat, but entitled son of Vince, which he has done in the past. We haven't seen him do this in over 10 years, maybe. Not since the Attitude Era, if I'm correct. Well, mainly because he hasn't been there for a while, for a good chunk of time. But we saw Shane just doing the McMahon taunt of chicken shit heel to a T, of taunting Miz and then running out of the ring, making him chase him, which if Miz was smart, or if anyone was smart in that situation, would know that he's goading you and you're now just playing his game. But with it being a Falls Count Anywhere, that means no DQ, so you get anything goes. And we saw Shane run into the audience, and then Miz run after him, and then he like punched him in the face, and then that's when the onslaught began, with Shane getting a lot of the offense for a good chunk of this match, to where they went to I don't know what section of the arena this is, because this is not a place we see a lot on television, so I don't know what the name of that, but it's more like the not backstage area but the production area, to where he slammed Miz into the LED screens, and then I believe Miz put him through a table or we got a 2 count. But of course, the big slot is Shane at WrestleMania. He's going off of something. I think he's trying to take the title of jumping off high things away from Jeff Hardy. I think so. But they were on this scaffold high up, to where I guess I don't know. Again, I don't know what area of the arena this is called. They're just somewhere near where the production team is, and to where he was begging for Miz to like, don't put him over, don't put him down, don't drop him. I beg, just chicken shit heel stuff. And then what people thought would be the smart move would just Miz to like kick him or suplex him onto the whatever that area down on the court. It's not the concrete, because they would hardly never do that, but he does suplex him onto this thing, but that we know is padded, so we don't actually kill anybody. And then we get the 1, 2, 3, but not on the person you would think it would be after this big move. It's actually Shane, because he landed on top of Miz, and now he has won this match. And I'm not exactly sure where this is going forward, but it was pretty fun. Like you said, this is one of your gimmick matches that it was entertaining, more entertaining than it had any business being, so to speak.
Before I comment, I just want to say hi to a few people. I don't know if I said hi to Sidewalk, but Sidewalk, welcome, as well as Big Time Gaming and Slaterman. Thank you guys for joining. Big Time actually says this was the match of the night, followed by Dave and Hunter Health Helmsley. So, so he actually really enjoyed this match. And it was fun to see. Like, I didn't enjoy the part where Mrs. Dad came into the match, but it was funny when Shane.
I think I blocked that out of my memory.
Shane fixes his hands. Yeah, he fixes his fist. That was funny. But yeah, as soon as I saw that suplex, I'm like, I'll watch Shane be on top of Miz. I'm like, oh, they're gonna count the 3 because he's on top of him, and they did, and that was stupid. But yeah, it was a good match. I thought it was entertaining. I don't want, like I said, like I agree with Tom. I didn't want to see Shane in WrestleMania. I didn't want to see this match. Miz could be used better. But you know what? Shane always does it. Shane never really disappoints, because he always will take some crazy bump. So, and then he did actually take the one other crazy bump where they threw him over like so it's where the cameras are usually at, and they film the ring, so you don't see these people, but all the international announcers are there, and they threw him over the Chinese, like behind the Chinese announcers, over them onto a golf cart. But the golf cart, Shane slipped off the golf cart and landed on the concrete, and that was really bad. It was a bad spot, and he was okay after that. But like Shane almost kills himself in New Jersey, I feel like.
New Jersey.
Yeah, because the last one was King of the Ring, 96. They had a Falls Count Anywhere match with Kurt Angle, and he almost killed himself there too. Yeah. So, any thoughts on this match before we move on, Tom?
So, I think this might be a running theme here, and I'm going to be the voice of negativity here. I'm all for safety measures, by the way. I'm going to preface that with this. But Falls Count Anywhere matches, like a lot of super hardcore matches, they're a little less fun when you throw in safety procedures. So the biggest bump of the night was him falling off the announce table thingy onto the golf cart on the floor, which was clearly padded. So the golf cart broke his fall enough that he basically rolled onto the padded concrete, which wasn't really concrete. And the final suplex was onto, as I think TJ put it, as a bunch of mattresses or a bunch of pillows. It was really, really padded. But I will challenge you, Delisha, on Jeff Hardy being the one falling off of things. I think Mick Foley currently has that record and has that title. True. I think Mick Foley's fallen off of more dangerous things. Hardy usually falls on somebody for the most part.
That is true.
But
we'll put them all in the top 3.
Fair enough. But yeah, I didn't want to see Shane. I think I texted Delisha that this match was basically the Shane falling off things show, and that's what happened.
So we always see with Shane, but that's what we're gonna get, and yeah. All right, so I think Delisha's gonna continue rolling with the next match, with the women's tag team match, which featured the champions, the Boston Hell Connection, Sasha and Bayley, defending against Nia and Tamina. The Iconics featuring Peyton Royce and Billie Kay, and then her favorite, or one of her favorites, because two of her favorites in this match, the Glamazon, Beth Phoenix, and Natalya.
Yeah, when I picked the matches to cover, I didn't realize they were all like 3 in a row. One of the things that I liked about this match is that we had tag teams dressing like tag teams. They were at the very least color coordinated if they weren't wearing the same color scheme. And even I don't know if he was the biggest fan of this part, but when Natalya and Beth came out, Bret Hart did come out with them to the top of the ring. If for those who may not have known, the Hart Foundation was inducted to the Hall of Fame that previous Saturday, so I guess it was just to honor that. And then also the other biggest news out of that Saturday was Bret Hart being attacked by a fan, or maybe not a fan if they're attacking him, but a person in the audience. And so I guess it was another show of faith that to show the fans he's all right, maybe. And we also do know that Natalya is big on her family. Especially her dad, who passed away this past year, and for him to be inducted. So they wore his colors of the pink and black. So I think that was another way to honor him in another way. Which I'm glad he didn't do, he did not walk them down to the ring and stay ringside to cheer them on. So that was great. And then the tag teams did a smart thing of eliminating the biggest threat. I don't mean literally, but like in physicality of Tamina and Nia. They took Nia out of the ring and ran her into the quote-unquote steel steps. And then I did like Tamina try to fight Beth Phoenix before the match even started, because she got slammed into the guardrail last month. I believe it was last Monday. So I thought that was pretty funny, and kind of like continuing a little bit of feud between those two, which I just thought that was a pretty small, fun detail. But we did get a lot of the Billie Kay and Peyton Royce working very well as a tag team that they don't get showcased. They don't get showcased much on SmackDown, but the small times that they do, you do see why they work well together. Besides them being best friends, obviously, but they work well as the. I don't know if I'll call them like the chicken shit heels, maybe, but the heel tactics of they were keeping opponents on their side of the ring, tagging in and out, tagging because of Fatal 4-Way rules, instead of it. I don't really understand Fatal 4 tag team matches when in a legit Fatal 4 they're all in the ring. So if it's a Fatal 4 tag team match, why not just have the 4 teammates in the ring and then tag in and out? But that may just get confusing, so that may just be for that sake. But the champions were doing what they could to try to retain their titles, even though they both got put in the sharpshooter by Natalya, which I don't know. Well, I've never been in any sort of submission movie, but I feel like it's just so unbelievable. Maybe it's a cool visual, but it's just unbelievable that they both would feel the pain from this move. And then Bayley could have tapped all she wanted, but she wasn't the legal person, so it was fine. She just had to keep Sasha from tapping, which she did. She like held on to her hands to make sure she didn't tap. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then we had Beth Phoenix, who people were thinking about ring rust, showed she didn't have any. She looked phenomenal. I might say that word a lot tonight. Sorry, AJ. But she looked great. She looked like she stepped out of, 2008, whenever she debuted or what have you. And back when her and Natalya were working as a team, they kind of just fell right back into it. And then trying to hit the Glamazon on Peyton or Billie, one of the two, off the top rope. But again, having a partner there to save her. I believe the match ended with excuse me, trying to do the Glamazon from the top rope onto Bayley, but Billie tagged her before she could get down, and then once she hit the move, she just threw her out of the ring, and then got the pinfall into shock to a good amount of people winning the tag team championship, which I'm not mad at. I thought Sasha maybe would retain, but I'm not mad at the Iconics being our tag team champions because they did push them a lot these past couple of weeks, and they did get a win over the champion. So well done, girls. Well done.
Yeah, so the chat is going off about this match. Big Time's a big fan of Beth Phoenix. A lot of them saying that she still has it, which you reiterated that as well. Entertain says he feels like Tamina's gimmick is someone's auntie, which is really funny. Though she did show some skin last night, so that's some progress for her apparently. She's younger, but she's been in the ring years. She's never skipped a beat. Yeah, she's looked really good. Beth Phoenix, the glam slam off the top or second rope looked great. And then the Iconics pulling off their heel tactics to win was great. Not only great, Tom, what was it?
I believe, Cal, it was iconic.
Yes, it was iconic. It was great. So yeah, I'm glad to see it. It was funny because I guess people like it's so funny. Like people like Big Time and all that know how much I love. Why is my thing not focusing? Focus. There we go. How much I love Peyton. So like he like tweeted about it right away. He's like, Kingslayer, the Iconics are coming out, and I was like, so when they came out, like one of the favorite things I like is when Peyton does the butt wiggle, and then she like grabs her like the pink, they grab each other's fingers and they walk. So when they came out and then music hit, it was like the wide angle, so it's like from the top showing all the fans like I was like, no, you better zoom in on their entrance because if I miss, I'm gonna be really mad. And they finally zoomed in, but I caught the thing. And I love their costumes coming out. There was like Maleficent and then like the Lucifer or whatever it was. That was really cool to see. Or the Pegasus, the Black Pegasus was Peyton, and Maleficent was Billy Kay, and that was really cool to see. And like you said, I loved how they all had matching like outfits because it was like old school tag team, and it was a fun match. And I think Beth Phoenix still got it. She should still do some more, but who knows? We'll see. Tom, your thoughts?
My thoughts are, I did pick the Iconics to win this, but although I had zero faith that it was actually going to happen, and I have never been happier to be wrong. Because they were the only real team in this match. Everyone else either has a weak link thrown together, or does anybody really believe the Sasha and Bayley team? Really?
No.
It's weird.
Sasha, I think for Sasha was giving it away that they're going to lose because she had like a stank face on the entire night. Like it seemed like it. She was really upset when she was coming out and stuff. Not her normal like happy self.
And I think Delisha forgot to mention that who was it? I think it was Beth that saved Sasha's life because Nia was up on the top rope about to splash. Yeah. And I'm not shaming anyone, but there's a very big size difference here. And that would have not gone well.
Hey, that might have been what goes around comes around, right? Karma for ending Paige's career. So
karma.
Yeah, Karma could have came out and jumped on her too. That'd been great. Remember, don't forget, Sasha Banks used to be a #1 WWE wife until like I found out she's not nice in real life and other stuff that she ended Paige's career and all that. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So it was a good match overall, and now we get to see the Iconics more often, maybe on both shows. So it's great.
Happy days.
It's not only great, Tom. What is it?
It's iconic.
All right.
If you two talk with Iconics, then I don't know what life is anymore.
So this brings us to our next match, which actually Slater Man said this was the best match of the night, which featured our WWE champion Daniel Bryan and the challenger, or as they called it, Kofi Mania. Now I do have a few problems with this match. Before we get to the result, or maybe we'll get to the result first, because like Tom said about the last time, he said you did pick the Iconics to win, as did I actually, but you didn't think they could do it. I should have went with that logic because I wanted Kofi to win, but I didn't think McMahon would have the stones to give it to him. How McMahon is and stuff like that. And we also said they made that whole brand new belt for Daniel Bryan. They probably wouldn't give it away right away either. And I went on record saying on I think last AfterMat or two AfterMats ago saying Kofi will get his moment, but he won't win the championship. So I stuck with that and said I was never happy to be wrong because I picked Daniel Bryan to win this match. But as you guys know, my feelings for Daniel Bryan, I was so happy to see, and I love Kofi, so I was so happy to see Kofi win. So I'm going to go to the ending right now. Kofi won the match. It was a good match. There were some stiff hits because Daniel Bryan came out really, really bruised. And Kofi being as flexible as he is, he sold those submissions well. Like, it was a great wrestling match. They wrestled it very well. The submissions were sold. The strikes were sold. Everything was sold. The one thing that didn't really sell me was the way he won. It was kind of anticlimactic. He did the what is it called? Trouble in Paradise. And like Daniel Bryan's kicked out of that like 72 times already. So like I don't think he even got hit by that once that match. That was the first time I think he got hit by it. So like why didn't he kick out? That's what I thought. But you know what? Hey, Kofi Kingston is your champion. He won. Everyone was ecstatic, and you kind of thought he was going to win because they kept trying. They never really showed the backstage reaction like throughout the match, especially during a high caliber WWE Championship match, really. Unless it involves like someone's like future, where it's like if this guy wins, then like WCW owns Raw and SmackDown. If this team wins, kind of like that kind of thing. You don't really see the backstage reaction unless that's something like that scenario is happening. This they kept showing it like everyone's cheering for Kofi. Everyone's cheering for Kofi as if Daniel Bryan did something wrong to them. Like which I don't see why. But I wanted Kofi to win. He won. It was just kind of sketchy because there were some more botches because the title's already out there with his engraving, which I didn't like. He should have at least held Daniel Bryan's title, kind of thing. And then also the shirts were made, which is fine. The shirts being made are fine. However, they were being sold on WWE.com prior to the match. So if you search New Day, it came up as a search thing. Kofi Kingston's "There's a New Champ" or "In the House" or something shirt was already being sold in the youth sizes. So that was kind of like, I was almost in tears. Like I was like tearing up when his kids came in the ring, and someone was so happy to hold the belt, hold the shirt, throw the shirt. I was cheering. I was so happy, but I did not have the same passion I did when they fought in the Elimination Chamber. I think it was Elimination Chamber right there, and like my heart was like pounding every time Kofi kicked out. Like I screamed. Like I was like so into it. Like the only time I screamed during WrestleMania is when the Iconics won in the match prior. When they won, I screamed like yes. Like I screamed out loud. I didn't have the same passion this time when Kofi fought Daniel Bryan because I felt like it was going to happen with like all these little things, little hints and clues or unintentional things that were happening. It's funny they spoiled the match. They're talking about it in the chat as well right now. So that's what kind of took away from the awe or like the moment for me. I was so much more invested in the Elimination Chamber match because I cheered every time Kofi kicked out of like Daniel Bryan's like power running knee or whatever you want to call that move. Like I was so ecstatic. I didn't get the same feeling, but it did come back to me when I saw his children in the ring, like so happy. Like that one child was so happy holding the belt and holding the shirt. He got up on the rope, held the rope, like the shirt up, threw it, like that really touched me. And that's what I liked about it. I would have liked to see that like whole passion throughout the match. I mean, they did put their heart, it was great. They did put their whole heart into the match. That was great, but I didn't feel the same enthusiasm throughout the match as I did for the Elimination Chamber match. So we'll go to Felicia just did the last two matches, so we'll go to Tom first. Your thoughts, Tom, on this?
I kind of agree with you here, Cal. I think the Elimination Chamber always has an inherent amount of tension, especially the Bryan Kingston thing with the whole organic rise of Kingston. He was a last-minute addition. Fans bought into it immediately. That would have been really cool. This one kind of felt like everyone was sort of not passionate, but on edge. Like you're relieved that Kofi won, not super excited, But I have to give it to both of them. This showed how good Daniel Bryan is as a heel, because he's brutal as a heel. He's much more entertaining than he was as a face, and he and Kingston trading blows was great. The part I didn't like, though, was Bryan applying the crossface. Looked like it was kind of half-ass applied. You mentioned how flexible Kofi is, but he was not torquing him very much at all. I just remember the old days of Benoit, like twisting someone almost halfway around with his crossface, and I feel like they could have done something similar with Kofi, but good match.
All right, Delisha, your thoughts?
Yeah, I sort of echoed what you guys said. It was a really good match. I was still invested because, like you said, I wasn't quite trusting Vince to give it to Kofi. And I really really hope that they let him keep it for a while, not just lose it either this Tuesday or on the next pay-per-view. Let him have his moment, let him shine. Let him give him a legit run with it and see what he can do. Yeah, I was spoiled when they had the little podium thing on there where there was already an outline of a championship already there. And so I was like, oh, okay, I think he's winning this one. Like when the New Day, like they could have made that someone better, because what if they knocked it over and then revealed the belt or something? It would have been better if they had kept it in the box that New Day had, and it was like, we believe in you so much that we had this made for you already. That would have been probably a better way to handle that. But in regards, I think the best part about this match was the legit reactions from other Black wrestlers on Twitter. Um, uh, one of the ones I remember off the top of my head was MVP and Shad Gaspar from Crime Time. They were watching it together, and you can just see, I think it's Shad, tears coming down his eyes after that match happened, and then seeing some of the Black fans like legit, Alexis Littlefoot on Twitter legit crying for, because we've all wanted this for so long that it's a shame that it's happening in 2019 and we haven't had really like you said a full Black champion or even one of African descent like Kofi, because I think he was born in Ghana, right?
Yeah, he's from Ghana.
Yeah, being a champion, given the shot to run with the biggest title in the company, and so I just think that, as we've been seeing these last couple of years in all aspects of whether it be the sports entertainment with like the women's revolution and some of the Black wrestlers getting their shit in the movies and even other industries, that representation really does matter. And I feel like that's why this was such a historic WrestleMania, because we have kids who were watching this last night for as long as their parents would let them stay up, seeing Kofi as a champion, seeing the women main event a big pay-per-view like this for the first time in WWE's history, and saying, hey, I can probably do that too, or spark that fire to maybe want to be the next Kofi Kingston or the next Becky Lynch, the next Charlotte, the next Ronda Rousey. So I really think that it's why these moments are important. And since they are, while it's scripted, they can tell these stories from and give these different backgrounds a chance to shine on a main stage like WWE. They have that power now to do that. And it's pretty cool to start to see them pay attention to that.
You know, I don't mind seeing all this. Like, I love these great stories. Like I said, it really touched me when I saw his son and all that out there. But I just don't want it to become political now. That's all I don't. I just want to see that. I'm there for the entertainment, the fun of it. I don't want to see like politics getting involved either. Now, well, how people are when they react about certain things and all that kind of thing. You know, but yeah.
But it's not really political. It's more like emotional, because like a lot of people said, these stories don't get told on the mainstream television.
No, I'm not saying what happened. I'm not saying what happened. I'm saying that I hope they don't make it like turn into political. Like, oh, the reason why he won. I always say like the reason why. I don't want people to say, oh, the reason why he won is because. What I say like last time, I said this on an old like AfterMat where like it was like was it Black History Month or something? Like I hope they don't make it win just because it's Black History Month, because then people are like, oh, he only won because it was Black History Month kind of thing. Like that. Like I don't want to see that kind of stuff happen.
People are going to say that.
It takes away from the moment.
People are going to say that regardless, because even when he was getting that push after that gauntlet match, people were saying that right off the bat, like we were only cheering for him right now because he's hot or whatever. When like now we've been cheering for Kobe for a really long time, we just haven't had the chance to shine. So like people have been saying that, they're going to say that, and I just ignore them. I don't care. I just want a good story to be told.
Yeah, Shadow agrees with you. He loved that Kofi became champion, knowing full well that Vince McMahon really disliked Kofi from the start. Yeah, pretty much the sentiment of all of the WWE universe for the most part. You know, any last thoughts from you, Tom and Felicia?
Nope.
All right, so we're gonna go before we go on to the next match, which is going to be Felicia covering. I think she wanted Joan Rey Mysterio, right? Mm-hmm. It is that time again. It is that time again now for the third and final word. So if you guys don't know, we're running a contest right now. In 2 weeks, we're having the season 2 AfterMat Award. So this is our actual season finale, if you think about it, because our AfterMat season runs from the Raw after WrestleMania, so today's Raw, till the next WrestleMania. So this is officially season 3 starting for us, but this is the season finale of AfterMat right now. So after the season ends, before the next review, we like to look back on the season, and we had the AfterMat Awards where we give the awards to top performers of the year. So we're gonna have that, and this year we're gonna actually give back to you guys. We've been having a lot of people in chat, a lot of great interaction, a lot of great feedback from you guys. We want to give back to you guys and offer you guys a chance to announce an award at the AfterMat Awards in 2 weeks. So please only enter the contest if you guys are willing to get on camera. If we don't get a winner, it's fine. We have a lot of people presenting anyway, but we'd love to have one of you guys there if you guys are willing to get on camera and do one award. We'll tell you, if you do win, we'll tell you what's involved in doing the award. If you're comfortable doing it, if not, we'll redraw the prize. But like I said, there's been 3 keywords. The third word coming out today. The first one was the Fastlane episode. The second one was in the After Talk episode featuring the Page movie. And this is the third one coming up now. You're going to DM me on Twitter, the 3 words. Just don't post it on Twitter. DM me on Twitter. And if you can't DM me, just message me first. Just send a tweet out to me saying, hey, I can't DM you. So then I'll make sure I follow you back. I'm pretty sure I follow everyone here. So just in case I don't follow you back, I'll follow you back just so you can DM me on Twitter. So don't say the 3 words straight up on Twitter. Just make sure you DM me. And if you can't DM me, contact me to let me know to add you. All right. So as for the final word, keyword number 3 is immortality. Immortality.
Great song.
So keyword number 3, once again, is immortality. So write that down for all of you who are willing to do the enter the contest, immortality. And then I'll make an announcement on Twitter, and you guys can DM me all 3 words. And then we'll draw the winner, I guess, the 15th when I come back from New Orleans. All right. That brings us to our next match, which I think Delicia's covering. That features your United States champion, Samoa Joe, defending against Rey Mysterio.
Okay, so this is going to be quick because it was a blink and you missed it. There's only 3 things to note about this match. Rey Mysterio dressed as Mysterio for, I believe, the first time on live television, which is kind of astounding that he hasn't done that before. 2, he did hit a 619 at WrestleMania because you have to. And then 3, Joe put him in a coquina clutch and he won and he's out. He's still a champion. That's what happened.
Yeah, so the Mysterio she's talking about is one from Spider-Man's.
Oh, sorry.
Spider-Man. Yeah, Spider-Man's Far From Home is coming out in July, I guess it is. So there's paying homage to that. One thing I want to note, though, it was kind of sloppy how when Rey Mysterio jumped off, he caught him, and then he put him down, and then he put him in the coquina clutch. If you just put him right into the coquina clutch, that would have been a lot smoother transition. I would love to see that. But Joe is still your champion, like you said. Tom, any thoughts?
I saw Mysterio's entrance. I got up to go brush my teeth. I returned, and the match was over. That's all I know about this.
Yep.
And I know people were kind of disappointed about that, but for some people who may not have known, he got injured, I think, last week, and they probably didn't even know we were going to have him in this match until, I think, the weekend. So they probably did that just to protect Rey a little bit, because we got to remember, even though he can still move as good, he's still almost 50 years old. So
and also, we all got to go to bed. We don't got time for this shit.
I did this was a good time match to have it be 30 seconds. It's fine. It's all right.
Yeah, the chat was saying he was hurt. Yeah, so all right. So that was a short match. So short commentary on it. All right, I think on the next match. So which brings us to probably one of our favorite entrances of the night, Drew McIntyre against Roman Reigns. Drew McIntyre came out to the New York Police Department. I guess it's the Irish band, I guess it was, but they had some certain name. I would say it's Scottish, but because Drew McIntyre is Scottish, but I think it said Irish on it. I don't know. I think Tom might be looking it up right now, Googling it. But yeah, so that was it was the pipes and drums, and it was really nice to hear, and it was awesome entrance. Roman McIntyre. Roman Reigns came out with his normal Superman punch, which was mistimed with the fireworks, so they came off a second later. But yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I see now what Tom said in the chat. It was just 2 powerhouses going back and forth. Really, there's some sloppy wrestling on Roman. Maybe he had some rust because his drive-by looked terrible. Some of his Superman punches just didn't look as good either. His Samoan drops, the one on the outside didn't look as good as the one on the inside. which you want to be taking more care of the person on the outside, obviously. But you know, Drew McIntyre still looked stellar. He looked great because he's been great ever since his run in NXT from when he came back. I was really hoping to see him push, but you know, when Roman Reigns coming back from his leukemia battle, I don't think they were going to have him lose. Here, yeah, at least we had Pyro. Yeah, they're saying Pyro because outside. I was saying that too. It's funny they had Pyro now because they can't do it inside anymore. They're saving money, but they're going to go all out for WrestleMania, which is the granddaddy of them all. I think he won with a Superman punch. It was right. I think, or was it a spear? I can't even remember because I was just so upset.
Punch then spear.
Punch then spear. Right? Superman punch then to a spear, and then Drew McIntyre unfortunately lost. And this could be setting up what you guys were saying: Roman Reigns versus versus Seth Rollins once again, and maybe the Shield will reunite during the match. Who knows? Because it might be the final time again. I thought maybe we might see Dean Ambrose to help because I didn't want Drew McIntyre to lose cleanly, but obviously they don't want Roman Reigns to look weak, that he needs help. So I was thinking maybe Dean Ambrose would come out and help him out or do something, but I guess they don't want to give him one more moment because who knows what's going on with his contract now, because the last I heard is that he's going to resign, but now it's all up in the air. Who knows what's going on with him. But yeah, so Roman Reigns won. Yeah, we need more Jinder. I agree. Jinder, man. Maybe the three-man band will get together again. Make it. Like I said, I could be the mouthpiece of that Indian stable, man. We got to have it going. Me, Kali, Jinder Mahal, and the Singh brothers, get us out there. Start pushing for that. Before Tom talks about the next match, let's go to. We had a little hiatus, I think, in the action with your boy Elias, right? Your boy Elias came out and had a one-man, three-man show. I don't know what you're gonna call it, but you want to talk about that before the next match, Tom, real quick, because they did have some monumental return, I guess.
Yeah, we as much as I love Elias, we wasted a lot of time with the three-man Elias thing. That was weird and awkward, and I don't think anybody was into it. But it was essentially just a long trigger for an awkward Yankees video that didn't make a whole lot of sense. But then the whole thing turned around because luckily everybody was wrong in thinking that Undertaker was going to interrupt him or Honky Tonk Man was going to interrupt him. So thankfully, we did not get the corpse of some ancient wrestler long since gone hobble their way to the ring with their walkers. Okay, I'm done with that now. But we did get the return of a younger, vibrant John Cena as his Doctor of Thugonomics. He did some awkward raps because he's kind of past that stage, but it was still a lot of fun seeing him come out there and diss Elias. And then he went home. But it was a lot of fun to see Cena back with the big ridiculous chain and the hat covering up his weird hair. So we had a lot of fun here.
Yeah, to note about that though, he wore a Yankees jersey and he's a hardcore Boston guy, so I thought that was kind of weird. I
thought that was weird too.
Yeah. And another thing is, he remember he called it the FU, not the attitude adjustment. So
he did say the FU.
So yeah, so that was a change from the TV PG. Any thoughts, Felicia, about John Cena before we move to the next match?
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. It reminded me of that time when he came out during his Rock Cena feud and did that because we didn't at that time too. We didn't expect him to do that either, but it was a lot of fun. But I will say when they were showing the Yankees baseball stuff, I don't know why in my brain I was like, is Pete Rose coming out? I was like, is he still alive? I don't know if he was a Yankee or not, but I just know
I think he's on Cincinnati Reds.
Oh,
Pete Rose is still alive. He is still alive. He was on the Reds and Phillies.
Okay, because I just know that he was baseball. That's why I was like, what is going on? But yeah, that was weird that he came out in the Yankees gear. But you know, John Cena panders to the crowd. So yeah.
But they are in New York, right, Cal?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, I hate that. Someone said that earlier. Like, why can't they acknowledge New Jersey? It's in New Jersey. Don't say WrestleMania in New York, New Jersey. It's in New Jersey. Damn it. That stadium is literally like 10 minutes from my house, if that. Without traffic, it's 5 minutes. Big time saying he loves Elias, but so does Tom. Tom loves Zen. Tom loves Zen Ben. Tom loves Elias as well. Sidewalk saying down here is a thing. Yeah, I mean it was cool, but a liveception, like Inception. Yeah, I don't know. Like seeing Cena back was, I guess, okay. You know, I'm not a big Cena fan, but it's fun. It was fun, nice. Because the WrestleMania 10, or was it? No, sorry, WrestleMania 20. He started off the show against Big Show for the United States Championship, and he won. So that as the Doctor of Thugonomics back then, and he did the whole pump up the Reeboks or whatever it is thing. So it was good, nice nostalgia. All right, so that brings us to our next match, which had another botch as well. But before we get to that, also had great entrances. So we'll get to Tom talking about this match, which featured it was a no holds barred match. Which when is a hold ever barred? I think the only thing that's ever barred is the pile driver, a spike pile driver, and maybe a few other things. But like, there's not really many moves that are barred. So it being a no holds barred, they just call it a no disqualification match because I think that's what they really mean. But they're paying homage to the old movie with Zeus and Hulk Hogan called No Holds Barred, this featured Triple H and Batista, where if Triple H lost, he has to never wrestle again.
On live television.
Yeah. To answer your question, though, Cal, it's called No Holds Barred because it sounds cool, and No Holds Barred, No Disqualification, Extreme Rules, and I think they have a couple other stupid named matches. They're all essentially the same thing.
Like a Chicago street fight.
Yeah, like that. They're all just, you can do anything you want. You can do anything you want on the ring side, but you eventually have to, get in the ring and finish it. So for this one, I was actually looking forward to this because nostalgia. This one did hit the nostalgia bone because I like Batista, and I loved the storyline of him beating up Ric Flair on the birthday thing, so we didn't have to. So no one had to sit through Ric Flair going woo a million times again. That was fantastic. So Batista's he's really come into his own as an actor, and it really showed in this. Like even more than the days when he was young, he's entertaining as hell. So Cal, yes, you mentioned the botch on his way in the ring. Batista slipped a little bit, and it was funny. So we all had a bit of a chuckle, and then Triple H had a really stupid entrance where he had a PS1 level graphic Mad Max thing at the beginning, and then drove a car that was clearly going its top speed, by the way. That was pretty poorly put together with plastic bits on the tank coming from the top. That was also probably a bad idea. But nevertheless, he finally made his way to the ring, and I kind of mentioned this earlier with the Falls Count Anywhere. These things aren't a whole lot of fun with safety standards. So, and these two are, let's be real here, they're old. They're both pushing 50 or over 50. So there was
actually Batista just turned 50, and Triple H will be turning 50 this year. Because I remember Roger saying, "Oh, the combined age might be 100," but it was only 99 and like 3/4.
So yes, they're both essentially 50. So they needed a lot of breaks. There was a lot of slow, methodical, really awkward Triple H action at the beginning where he was like torturing Batista, and it looked like it was going to be Batista going down like a bitch. But luckily, he made a comeback, hit a bunch of really cool moves. He went through a table thanks to Triple H countering the Batista bomb and tossing him over his back. That was a cool spot. It all ended.
Okay, wait. Before I'm sorry to interrupt you for a second, but that spot was kind of messed up because the referee's like telling Batista, "You put the steps too far. You can't reach that much." Like you could hear him say that to Batista, like when he set up the steps, like it's too far. It's too far. So sorry about that. But go ahead.
Yes, he hasn't done this in a while, man. Give him a break. But they finally made their way back into the ring, and of course the sledgehammers came out because this is Triple H, but because this is 2019 and we have sane safety regulations, the sledgehammer usage is really, really muffed. So it's essentially just a slightly harder punch. He always has to put his fist in front of it no matter what because it's a freaking sledgehammer. So it ended with Triple H doing a jump off the stairs and hitting Dave with a really hard punch and into a pedigree. of course, center of the ring, 1, 2, 3. We're going to completely ignore the Ric Flair thing. It's best to not talk about that. And Triple H wins because ego.
Yep, and he wants to wrestle again. Some funny comments in the chat. I think Entertainer was saying the Terminator entrance at WrestleMania 31 was the best for Triple H. They're asking if you're an ageist, Tom. And Big Daddy Neff said he thought the match was the first guy to tear a quad loses the match. So I thought that was funny.
Oh, burn.
But yeah, one interesting note about, I don't know if anybody else notices, but the whole Big Time was talking about this earlier, the needle nose plier. If you watch that, he goes to the thing, but he doesn't put it on. And like, you think Roger's like, oh, he's probably helping him get to the thing. No, he yanks it away, right? And then Batista walks away. You see the referee tried to hand Triple H another set of nose ring, so it looks like he tore it out. And that's when Batista's taking it out and putting it underneath the ring, because Batista rolls out of the ring. So they're trying to do like a sleight of hand thing, but it was the camera caught it all, and it was really bad. If you go back and watch it, you can see like the referee I think the referee's trying to get a Triple H, but he dropped it on the ground or something. It was just really sloppily done. Yeah, Entertainment goes, you always lose your last match, which could ring true later on in the evening. That's not true though, because remember, Edge beat Alberto Del Rio to retain his championship instead of losing it, and
that was a different kind of last match, though. That was a different kind. If
yeah,
you on your own terms, you go on your back.
Maybe
he didn't know that he was going to be told the next day that he can't wrestle anymore.
I thought he knew before going into that match.
Pretty sure he found out after that. We
will look it up.
Yeah, it still look painful without the botch. Where's Joe when we need him? But yeah, so yeah, it was fun to watch. You know, I like Dave Batista's entrance section for the botch. Like, I love how he goes to the, but I wish there was better time, because when he did the last slam, it was not time. Like the whole thing, I think it was just a delay between the firework being pressed and then that happening. But yeah, the whole him coming with an entourage kind of thing was kind of cool. But yeah, the hot rod thing, I like the video, but you know, I don't know. It was like you said, like the car probably was at top speed. It was fun to see. Good nostalgic match. You know, tables were broken, steel stairs were used, and all that. So that was fun. It was fun. That's all I can say about that. It entertained me, and it was good to see Batista still had it. Delisha, your thoughts?
Yeah, I like Batista's homage to Sasha Banks' Brooklyn NXT entrance, because she basically did the same thing. And I always commend Triple H for at least going for it, of trying to top himself from the year before. It's just that the CG computer was just weird. It's like, you have all this money, how could you not get this better? Anyway, but the match in itself was entertaining. It was fine. For all my NXT fans, I feel like Triple H was doing an homage to Pete Dunne with all that finger work going on. If you watch NXT UK or NXT, you know what I mean. But yeah, all in all, it was good. And then Batista is from that kind of like old school mind that if he knows he's not, if people don't know, he officially is retired. He said this morning that that was his last match in sports entertainment. So I feel like for him, if he knows Triple H wants to wrestle more, he's like, I don't mind going out losing as long as we put on a good show. Because at the end of the day, Batista is a wrestling fan, which is always good in your competitors, that they're actually a fan of what they do. But all in all, good match. And then I can't wait to see Batista in more movies, because he's pretty good.
That next movie with Kumail Nanjiani looks good. Stuber, that looks hilarious.
Trailer did look sweet.
It looks.
And it was funny. And it was funny that he was behind him with the big Batista signs. And he had the Batista shirt, like he had the big Batista fat heads, and he had the shirt on. It was really funny. All right, speaking of farewell matches, that brings us to our next match, which is also a farewell match featuring Kurt Angle and Baron Corbin. So I think Tom is doing this one as well.
All right, so speaking of quick matches, this one should have been, but here we have Angle versus Corbin, which none of these fans wanted, but I like Corbin. So here we go. Angle and Corbin, they started with touting some of Corbin's accomplishments, which I think they try to do to kind of try and turn people around to him. I'm not really sure why people just flat out reject him. They're not even booing him for the most part. They're just apathetic. But nevertheless, he is here, and he is wrestling with Angle on his last match. Angle is, of course, limited in the ring. So having him against a younger opponent is probably a good idea. So Corbin did kind of carry this match. He got a lot of really hard hits in. Angle still got some of his trademark stuff in. He got a few really good German suplexes in. Corbin was helping out a lot there. Got a lot of really good German suplexes. Got a angle slam in there. Got a few ankle locks, which was pretty cool. But in the end, he fell to the end of days, and to shock everybody in the audience, Corbin pins him for the 1, 2, 3 as Angle does a little tribute to the fans, walking out with the classic "You suck" chants.
Yeah, he's always been a class act. So I mean, it was nice to see that kind of passing the torch in a sense, but not really. Like he's kind of like the guy that people hate now. When Angle's first around, people didn't like Angle, and that's where the whole "You suck" start chanted, which I think started back in New York, New Jersey after one of the pay-per-view. I think it was Royal Rumble or something. Whatever it was, it started in New York, New Jersey. I guess that was New York because of the MSG. So I'll actually give it to you guys, New York, because it's WrestleMania was New Jersey. Let's keep that in mind. So it's actually the New York fans that started the "You suck" chant, I believe. So it's kind of like people feel the same way about Baron Corbin back, how they felt about Angle. Angle's song was actually called Metal. That's why they used to say metal, or Angle. Then it changed to "You suck." And now I guess maybe Baron Corbin will get the same kind of treatment. Who knows? We'll see. But it was a good match, fun to see. And like I said, like Baron Corbin's Deep Six looks awesome. It looks really cool how he does it. Like he puts so much torque into that. That looks great. And it was nice to see Kurt Angle still get the nice like tribute as he walked out. That was great to see. Delisha, your thoughts?
And Corbin can turn a lot of moves into that Deep Six. That's a really versatile move and makes it even cooler.
Delisha?
Sorry. I think the match was fine. Especially since Kurt really can't go as he used to due to the neck injuries, and as he said, I think he said it on Raw, like the drug use of the painkillers and all that stuff. So his life hasn't been he's had a hard life as far as the sports entertainment world goes, especially when you are touted as one of the best wrestlers of all time. People will probably put him on their like Mount Rushmore of best wrestlers in the business. So a lot of times it is bittersweet because you know how great he has been, and for him to not go out as peak as probably he and everyone else would like. But for what it was, I think it was good. And I hope that this is one of those instances where he actually stays retired. I don't mind him coming back as like some sort of like on-air personality of some sort, whether he does a guest commentary or like they treat Jerry Lawler, put him like in a pre-show to like give some thoughts on the match and stuff like that. I wouldn't mind that. But yeah, stay out of the ring, Kurt. Go raise your family and let us just remember you how you were and not how we wish you would, like some people.
Some of the thoughts in the chat. Slater Man says it's the biggest disappointment match of the night. Big Time saying he likes Corbin. Sidewalk says it's because Corbin has an awkward body in his former hair. Big Daddy Neff, I agree with you. They could at least let Kurt hit that moonsault, but Kurt is like a big dude. He's a big he's like stocky and firm, so like that would kill somebody. I think if he hit the moonsault, even if they took it right. But I really want to see the moonsault. I always called it the moonsault that never hits. Speaking of family, where's Jason Jordan? Yeah, that's true. Once again, you always go out on your back by putting him against Corbin. Made it feel like they could have been a chance. But the difference between the hate on Kurt, Sliderman says, is that Corbin is Corbin, and Corbin has the go-away heat, whereas Kurt had the good heel go-away heat, like use like heat. Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier, Big Daddy Neff. He was saying that too bad Shane's already booked because he'd like to see him throw through the glass. That's what the King of the Ring that I was talking about earlier, each Rutherford, where Shane almost died for that. So that was a good farewell match, which brings us to our next, I think it's our penultimate match, meaning our second to last match of the night, featuring, as Big Time and I like to call it, the Demon Finn Balor against your reigning defending Intercontinental Champion Bobby Lashley with Leo Rush's corner. Like we always say, Demon Finn Balor has extra overall rating because he's in his demon state. I think regular Finn Balor, I think, is 88 rated, whereas Demon Finn Balor is rated 93. However, Big Time did note that Bobby Lashley had gamma contacts in, therefore his power level was also raised a little bit, thus nullifying the Demon experience. But however, the Demon still has like the flowing dreads and the spray paint, which still gives him a little edge. Because as Tom knows, can vouch for being a car guy, if you put racing stripes or flame decals or anything on a car, it adds 5 horsepower per decal or racing stripe.
At least 25 for flame.
Okay, so there you go. That's why he gets higher level. Abs Balor, as people like to call him as well. Yeah. Were we expecting anything besides a squash? I think Tom messaged me during the match saying, do you think Balor's entrance is going to go longer than the match? Which it might have gone. It might have been just spot on with I think this match was like 4 minutes long. His entrance was about 4 minutes long. I didn't expect him to jump off the crane as it was coming down. I thought they're going to make him wait till it comes down, but he jumped off because he had to do the thing that he always does. He couldn't do it on the crane because the crane came down. I think it started late. So he had to get off and do it. It was mostly Balor for the most part, I think. And then when it went to the outside, I think Bobby Lashley turned it around for a second, but then Balor came right back at it. It was funny because I saw Leo Rush for a second. I thought he was like 3 feet tall. I was like, who's like the Hornswoggle guy out there? But it was actually Leo Rush. Like there's a weird camera angle. They made him look very, very small. And Leo Rush got scared off by the Demon, like playing off that he's really a Demon angle. Basically he won with the coup de grace, right? I think it was. And then what else? Like he was basically a squash. Now the title's back on Finn, which I wanted to see. I wanted that. I don't know why Bobby actually had it. I don't know why I hope we don't see this for the next 1 year because these two have been wrestling forever. Seems like it's kind of annoying to see, but I hope Balor has a nice lengthy IC title reign until maybe next WrestleMania. He holds until next WrestleMania where he fights champion versus champion for the actual whatever brand he's on, world title. That'd be cool to see. Also got to say hi to Sky. Sky just joined us. Welcome, Sky. Demon Finn hit the powerbomb. Don't forget, that's right. Thank you, Side. Demon Finn hit the powerbomb on a huge guy. But, that's expected. Demon Finn Balor has a higher overall rating. Therefore, he has more strength. Thus, he can think. Because regular Finn Balor probably couldn't do that.
Also, he has ab power.
Ab power. Well, he always had ab power. But this is extra power because of the Demon. But, yeah, so I hope really he holds the title till next WrestleMania. And that's when he fights for the champion versus champion old school, WrestleMania 6, Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan, kind of like that. So we're going to go to Delisha, your thoughts.
Yeah, it happened the way I thought it would happen. Demon came out, Demon slayed, Demon won. Then we probably won't see the Demon for a while now.
Till maybe next WrestleMania. Tom, your thought? Before we say that, Sidewalks' Balor versus KO would be a cool feud. Tom, your thoughts.
Exactly what Delisha said there, and I think the Intercontinental title is exactly where Finn needs to be right now. He could bring some prestige to that title, especially like you said, if he holds it for a long time. He's skilled enough to get a lot of really good matches out of it, so I'm looking forward to it. Much better than even with a mouthpiece, Bobby Lashley is dull.
Exactly. I agree. All right. That brings us to our final match of the evening, which is the main event featuring both the Raw and Women and Raw and SmackDown Women's Championship. SmackDown champion being Charlotte Flair, Raw champion being Ronda Rousey, and our defending the challenger Becky Lynch, the man, in a triple threat winner take all match. And I think Delisha wanted this one. Is Delisha or Tom? Tom.
I about to say that was Tom. Probably
Tom, go ahead.
Okay, so we're just gonna skip right over the build up to this because it was long and confusing. But so this was one of the bigger entrance spectacles. They had that awkward footage of Charlotte showing up in a helicopter. They landed in. She puts on her robe, starts making her way, but for some reason Ronda starts coming out. They had actually had Joan Jett and the Blackhearts there to sing her entrance music, which was really cool. So she makes her way out of the ring. Charlotte makes out to the ring in her spectacle, and then Becky just comes out straight walking, no flash, no flare. So that was hilarious. So we get into the match where, as we're seeing in the chat here, was a bit sloppy. There were some botched moments, but overall this was fairly entertaining. Rousey got a lot of good hits in. You could tell she's really using the fighting background in this one more than anything. But Charlotte and Becky were really called upon to carry the load a lot of this match. So we go to and fro, a lot of submission holds. Becky got the disarm her in a few times. Ronda almost got the armbar in. I was really disappointed that they didn't once lock someone in the armbar for more than a few seconds. I think Cal has mentioned that saga a lot. It would have been really cool if someone were to like hold on in the armbar for a while. This would have been the perfect time to do it, but they didn't. So then we get to the very controversial ending that I didn't know how to feel about this one. Because first it felt a little anticlimactic because the win was done on a roll-up. It was the cool crucifix roll-up, I'll give you that. But still, it was the 1, 2, 3, but it was very clear on the camera angle that Rousey's shoulders were up after 1. And maybe that was her fighting instinct trying to get out of it. But her shoulders came up, but the ref kept counting because that's what he was supposed to do. Becky wins. Becky gets 2 titles, and they all forgot that happened and started cheering madly because Becky is awesome.
So there actually is some controversy because that was a botched ending. That's not how it was supposed to end. The referee actually did count. It was been reported by somebody from the Pro Wrestling Torch. Talked to the people from the backstage creative team, and it was actually she was supposed to kick out. The referee wasn't supposed to count to 3, and Becky was supposed to put Charlotte in the disarm her, and Charlotte was supposed to tap because they didn't want Ronda to look bad. And actually, Ronda was visibly upset backstage because she wasn't supposed to look weak. But now they could turn this around because she, like you said, her shoulder was up, so she could say, "Hey, I never really got pinned." But yeah, a lot of people in the chat were saying this match was pretty stiff. Big Daddy Neff said that. But Sidewalk says it was sloppy, bad sloppy, not fun sloppy. A weird ending, but I was hoping that now the rumor broke, the Ronda broke her hand. Big Ed said that Ronda said bitch so much that it was comical. Yeah, so the baseball saw that Ronda hanging in the ropes was a nice spot. That looked nasty. And yeah, there's a lot of botches, and you also hear them like when they did the I know what's it called, Spanish Fly off the top. Charlotte goes to Becky. You could hear say, "You ready? 1, 2," and then like she jumps. So you could hear that on thing because I heard that the crowd was so dead that because it's a long night, the crowd was so dead by that point. They turn up the mics on the ring so you could hear the like louder slamming on for the people at home. However, that also picked up the people talking, so you could hear Charlotte, Becky, and Ronda talk a lot too, so that kind of had a negative effect in that. So there's a lot of complaints. I mean, like I don't want to take away from it being, will they ever have another women's main event? I don't know. Like I hope so. That I was entertained. I thought it was fun. But like I always say, I've been saying this for AfterMat for a long time. When you throw more than like 2 women in the ring, there's always so much confusion about it. Not even just women, it's anybody. Like there's always too much going on, too much action. But like we've seen a lot in those women fatal 4-way matches, the 6-way 6-pack matches, the 8-way matches. Like people get confused. They don't know what to do. And I thought 2 consummate professionals and then Ronda Rousey, we wouldn't see that. But, I'm not saying she's not a consummate professional in her field, but wrestling field is Charlotte and Becky's like home, right? Ronda's like a visitor, and she's been doing a great job. She has been doing well, but it was very sloppy. I think a lot of people, they sold it too much as it being the first ever time a woman, like we got it. We got that. So I think people were looking at it under a magnifying glass. If they didn't have to sell it as much, I understand the historic importance of it, and I was all for it. As soon as I got heard about it, I tweeted that out as well, and I loved it. But then every single 5 minutes, first ever women's, like they didn't have to keep poking you with it, right? Let them have the moment. We understand. You don't have to keep gnawing, to the point where you get annoyed by it. And they should have left the match, let their talent speak for themselves. And unfortunately, I think they took away from it by saying, "Hey, this is what we're doing. We're doing this, making it monumental because we're making it the first ever women's match kind of thing." And everyone looked at it, or at least I made it look. But I always look at matches. Like I always look for botches. Like I said about the Batista botch earlier, and I said about other botches earlier as well. I always look for botches. I don't know why. It's like probably I don't know what it is in me, but I do. But I had fun in this match. But however, the ending was kind of sloppy. I know Delicia's itching to talk about this match, so go ahead, Delicia.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree that, but I mean, WWE's notorious for it. They like to get a bone and just latch onto it and just hit you over the head with things, whether it's situations that they created themselves or something that might happen organically. But yeah, I do feel as if this match, I actually wasn't going this match thinking it was going to be the greatest match I've ever seen, just because you did have Ronda Rousey involved. I'm still not a Ronda fan of her as a person or as an in-ring person. I mean, I do, because like on the one hand, I do get that she was just thrust into this this big picture scene because she's Ronda Rousey and she puts butts in seats and stuff like that. I get that, but as you look at her, almost her counterpart in Shayna Baszler, who didn't have to have that scrutiny, and how much she got to develop over the year or two that she was in NXT, and she's one of the biggest highlights as this MMA. Someone correct me. It's UFC. That's where they came from.
Yeah, UFC is the MMA is a sport. UFC is like a brand, like how WWE is a branded wrestling, and WWE is another branded or was another branded wrestling. Like UFC is the brand, MMA is the sport.
Gotcha. Thank you. Because obviously I don't watch. But you see that Ronda still has some greenness to her, especially with her yelling "bitch" after everything. It's like there's different ways to sell this Ronda, but. Anyway, the match itself was fine. The right person won because if she had not won, that place would have rioted. That would have woke them up. That's for sure. If Becky didn't win, but yeah, it is kind of like unfortunate that because it's such a long program that by the time we do get to the main event, people are exhausted. They are tired. They want to keep cheering, but they probably just physically not able to because they've been sitting there for 7 hours. But I am interested to see where we go from here tonight, because they've kind of like flip-flopped on Becky's rise to the top so throughout this feud that it does make me kind of nervous, but I feel like as they let her stay true to the almost like anti-hero, like straightforward Becky, that we could get a good run out of this and not the forgettable SmackDown run that she had when she is the first ever SmackDown champion that people tend to forget. But yeah, and then as far as it being botched, I don't know. I kind of feel like 50-50 on it because I feel like that's such a rookie mistake to like not know if you're supposed to stay down or not. I'm not sure. So I'm still kind of tentative on whether or not that was a legit botch on like on the actual. I mean, not she did botch the putting her shoulders up. I mean, of what the finish of that segment was supposed to be. Because I do know, I like you said, I know, like you said, it was supposed to be Becky tapping out Charlotte. It was interesting that the match did end on a 3 count and not a submission when all 3 of them are known for their submission moves. But either way, the right person won. I'm happy for Becky. I do not want these titles unified, unless it's true that we are not going to do a brand split anymore, which is kind of weird at this point in time. But if we are going to stick with the brand split, then we better not unify these titles, or I would be so mad.
Team unify.
Well, that's what we always do. We unify and then we split them. We unify and split them. We've done this 1,000 times. I'm sick of it. I'm about to take all the belts and put them under my bed, and then they can come find me while they're still in New Jersey, because I'm sick of this. Every other now they're in Brooklyn. Damn it. But anyway, every other like few years, they're gonna unify them, then they're gonna split them. They're gonna unify them. It's so hackneyed by now. I don't like it. It's stupid. I don't like it. But yeah, one thing I want to know is when the match started, I'm like, why are they using such a veteran? Such a green referee. I know he's been in like NXT a lot and all that, and doing the undercards and stuff. But why use that referee?
He's not green anymore. He's been there for about a year or two.
Yeah, but not
He's
that's
one
not
of
like
my
that's not like
favorite
Mike
mustaches.
that's not like Mike Chioda and like those guys like who've been there forever. Like that's who I would have saw as doing the main event of WrestleMania kind of thing.
Yes, that's true.
So I don't know, especially in a match when they're billing. Like I said, once again, they're billing as a first ever women's match, so you don't want anything to go wrong. You think you don't want anything to go wrong. I feel like the referee screwed this match at the end too. So that's another thing.
I get it.
You know, like,
I just like that ref because me and my friend affectionately call him the Jack ref, because he's so muscular than some of the other ones. But yeah, whatever.
You guys are nerds. You know refs.
Welcome PT80. Charles was apparently practicing flippy stuff earlier in the week, but that we didn't see the match, so I have a feeling it was botched. No, people like I said, it was like reported by a journalist that he spoke to the WWE people, and they said that that's not how it's supposed to end. So I don't know. But I guess we should get to our finishers now. So we can start with Tom, your low point, your high point, and your overall grade.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of what the low point would be because there are a few of them. Circle back to me.
You're just destroying our flow here. Okay, we're going to go to Deletion. What if Delecition's not ready then?
It's fine. So I'm gonna put my low point as the bad CGI and some of these entrances. It's just some of it took me out, especially when their production team is pretty good, especially when it comes to like the video packages and stuff like that. They're always almost flawless with those, especially when it comes to like the big pay-per-views. And then they botched the computer graphics on people's entrances. I guess my high point was the baby faces winning because we were all nervous each time that they won. We were like, oh crap, I think this means so and so is not winning. So the fact that we got Seth, Becky, Kofi, hell, I'll give it to even Zach and Kurt Hawkins and the Usos who are tweeners. The fact that the majority of the baby faces won, that's my high point because we don't always get the happy endings like that, especially at WrestleMania. So I'm gonna give it to that. Oh, and my overall grade, I think I'm gonna go with I'm going to B plus. For the most part, I enjoyed every match is something that I enjoyed, even if there was like small things that I didn't quite like that they did. But with all the 15,000 hours of wrestling that whole weekend, I enjoyed myself. WrestleMania is probably one of my favorite pay-per-views of the year, if not the favorite. And it's all around had a good time. So a high grade for.
There was actually a lot of fan service this pay-per-view. A lot. I think it's all fan service for the most part, I think. So that was kind of disappointing to see because I thought there'd be some swerves, but whatever. But we'll see. Well, Tom, you ready to serve the fans, Tom, or no?
With phrasing? Are we still doing phrasing? Anyway, so low point I think I would have to put as the kick out after one. That bothered me so much. I just couldn't, even though Becky is probably one of my favorites on the roster right now, I couldn't get excited because that was such a weird, awkward ending. So that whole kick out thing really ruined it for me. I hate to be that guy, but I am. The high point, have to give it to the Iconics winning. It was a great win. What else would you call it, Cal?
I would say it was quite iconic.
All right, that's the last time we're doing that. And overall grade, I'd have to give it a nice C+. I was entertained throughout. I got super excited at one point. I think we all know that point at this point. But the rest of it was okay. I had fun, so I'm giving it a passing C+.
Harsh grade. I'm the harsh.
It's not harsh. Okay. It's passing.
That means you have to give like Fastly an F every time. Lower than an F, like an F minus. All right. Before we get to mine, let's talk about some people in the chat. Slaterman says low points Kurt's match / the revival burial. So they didn't have a revival. They had a burial. That's what it should be called now, the burial. High points Kofi and Seth winning, and he's gonna give it a B+. Sky gave it A-. He said it wasn't all fan service because Baron Corbin beat Kurt Angle. All right. As for me, my low point would have to be also the botched ending with the pin because they made Ronda Rousey look weak, which I didn't like to see. Me being a fan of Ronda Rousey, but also like just for her character, her being a juggernaut that she is. That botched ending kind of screwed her over, as well as a lot of the timing mismatches on the fireworks kind of screwed me over. I didn't like that either. Also Kurt Angle losing. I'm a huge Kurt Angle fan as well, so that kind of sucked. I had another one too. I think I can't remember what that was. High point, obviously, was when the Iconics won the tag team championships. I won't put you guys through it again, but that was great. But yeah, and one other thing, the one thing that really touched me all night was the family celebration that Kofi had, because I really wanted Kofi to win, despite what I said about like how I felt Vince would treat it, like how I saw it as like, if you want to call me a journalist or whatever, how I see it. But the fan in me, I love seeing Kofi win. And the moment with his family, like that really touched me when his son was like holding up the title with such pride, and the shirt too with such pride. That I really loved those moments. Slenderman's one where I got imposed. We'll have to wait till next time we'll do it every time they wrestle. If they do something good, we can say it. As long as Tom is with me. But yeah. Well, next time Tom and I see each other, maybe we'll have his sister record us doing the Iconics entrance, as long as I can be Peyton Royce and do my butt wiggle. But yeah, overall great. Actually, I'm gonna give it an A- because it's in New Jersey. I'm gonna give it some hometown love and give it an A-. The only thing that I took away from it are the botches, all the botches all night. Other than that, I enjoyed the show. Also the one thing that turned me off as well was Cena coming out in Yankee stuff. Him being such a diehard Boston guy, that kind of turned me off too. But other than that, A- is a good show. I had a good time. You'd rather have Angle put anybody else over besides Corbin. But yeah, that was a good night. It was fun. So I guess before we go, I think we're gonna have each one of you guys talk about where I can see you. So we'll start with Tom first. Tom.
You can see me on here, obviously. Find me on Twitter at RoadRaider3. I just got a new job, so I won't be doing any content for a while until I find myself a new place and my stuff comes out of storage. So, in the meantime, here are my random thoughts on Twitter.
You're muted, Cal.
Oh, I was saying at RoadRaider3, and you can find him on YouTube at Zed Reviews. You've been doing this long enough that you should know how to do your politics, because your own channel too. Even though you don't do that. Yeah, you didn't even do it on your own show. Like when at the end you're like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna end it. Like, all right, Delisha, what about you?
Yes, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Delisha Renee. You can find me popping in on Cal's various programs just to cause havoc. No, I'm just kidding. He has a Game of Thrones recap coming up that he's going to talk about later that I'm pretty excited about because I love hearing Cal. Well, I love hearing Cal talk in general. But I love hearing his Game of Thrones recap because his memory of all these things, and it's amazing because I can barely remember what I did this morning. But you can also find me and Nicole, my co-host, on After Talk coming up in a few weeks. We'll get back to you on a date next time we meet with AfterMat. But we are going to be doing our own WrestleMania Dream Card, and excuse me, to where me, Nicole, and Cal will come up with our own WrestleMania that we would love to see. Well, would have loved to see in all its iterations. We're gonna Avengers style. Oh, sorry. I was getting notes from the producer that I was supposed to wait. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
We'll just edit that out.
But yeah, but look forward to the next After Talk. And I appreciate you guys coming by and talking WrestleMania with us. You're still on mute.
Thank you. I thought I hit it. I couldn't sort of hit the button. All right, as for me, I'm going to be on streaming hiatus, so Kingslaying is going to be on hiatus for a little while because I'm going to New Orleans this weekend. So for a little while, on my annual trip with my buddies and family. And then, however, like Lisa mentioned earlier, on Wednesday, we have the return of the Night's Watch. So for the next 7 weeks. starting with this week, doing the recap of Season 7, Game of Thrones. If you're a Game of Thrones fan, come back here, Kingslaying Network, 9 p.m. Eastern. I'll be joined by the lovely folks of Odd Shape Channel, Tom and Kimber, and we'll be doing our recap of Season 7. And then every week after that, every subsequent week after that, we'll be featuring the recap of the previous Sunday's episode, starting with the premiere. So that's on the Night's Watch over here on the Kingslayer Network every Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern. As for AfterMat, this is the season finale, but you can catch us in the Season 2 special, which is the AfterMat Awards, which will be premiering in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from today, so April 22nd, at a special start time, I think, of 7 p.m. Eastern. Like I said, you've gotten all 3 keywords now, so if you want to enter the contest, remember the first keyword is over in the Fastlane episode, second keyword is on After Talk, featuring the Page episode, and the third keyword was from this episode. Make sure you DM me directly on Twitter. Do not post the 3 words on Twitter. If you can't DM me, please just tweet at me saying, hey, I can't DM you. Just follow me back, and then you'll DM me. But by no means post all 3 words on Twitter. Remember, only enter if you're willing to get on camera that week, and you're free on April 22nd, 7 p.m. Eastern. We'll get you in somewhere in the event, depending on what award you're going to be announcing. Yeah, so once again, I'll be posting about that on Twitter after this. So, and the next time you see us on AfterMat will be May 20th, I think. May 20th for Money in the Bank, which I really enjoy. Money in the Bank. So the May 19th is Money in the Bank. May 20th, you'll see us for that. So that's what we have planned for the next few weeks. But until then, guys, slam the haters, keep reaching for your goals, and be the champion of your dreams. See y'all later.
Night, night.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't want to miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on